Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome to Oilers After Dark, episode 71, January review. Now, it's going to be a bit of a longer video because I am going to go into some depth with the review of what transpired during the month of January. And obviously, my prediction for the month of January was a little off. I predicted, obviously, that we'd go 9-3. I predicted the Oilers would go 9-3. They went 8-2 in all actuality, losing games I thought they'd win, winning games I thought they'd lose. But such is the way it goes. I also highlighted four players: Hyman, Derek Ryan, Darnell Nurse, and Tyson Berry. Few of those struck gold, a few of those did not. Again, obviously, Hyman being player of the month for the Edmonton Oilers, he struck gold. 20 points, not too shabby. The Oilers find themselves fourth in the Pacific Division, first wild card spot, 60 points, 2 points out of third, 3 points out of first. Anyone's race could be a February to remember. Again, this is a monthly review. My name is Matt for Oilers After Dark. Thank you for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. We got a fun one. So the Oilers started off the month against Seattle at home, long break, lost 5-2. The main takeaways of that game kind of were the Oilers outshot Seattle 32-24. 1 for 3 on the power play. Seattle was also 1 for 3 on the power play. That second period kind of off Malone the Oilers a little bit. Oilers had a 2-0 lead going on into the second period, and then Benier scores on the power play, makes it 2-1. Schwartz scores, and then Gord scores, then McCann scores, then Winberg scores. Basically, the Oilers had a 2-0 lead until they fell apart, and it just calamity. What the fuck? It happens. It's not the worst game they played of the month, not even close to the best game they played of the month. It was just a game to start off January. We go on to, again, we're at home against the Islanders. That's a 4-2 win. Play a little bump up, baby. Now, I predicted the Oilers would beat the Seattle Kraken and then beat the Islanders. I was wrong. I'm 1 for 1. It happens. I'm not going to be perfect, right? So in this game, we had goals from Draisaitl, Yamamoto, Holloway, Hyman. No scoring in the third period. What helped the Oilers was they went 1 for 4 on the power play. The Islanders went 0 for 3 on the power play. Again, McDavid gets his 500th assist in the NHL. Draisaitl had 2-point night. We pretty much controlled everything except for the second period. Again, trending in January. Second periods in Oilers, bad. All in all, the Oilers looked like a good team. They looked like the team that was ready to play. Campbell also got the start. He did not get the start in Seattle. Congratulations to Stuart Skinner and his wife, beautiful baby boy Bo. 7 pounds 4 ounces, 7'4". He was away from the team for most of the month, which was good. He needed the time away. The Oilers needed to figure out what Jack Campbell had. Jack Campbell had to figure out what he was bringing to the Oilers. It was a perfect month for that. Schedule wasn't super hard. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't the hardest schedule they had. That was October, November. Now, move on to the next game. We play against the Colorado Avalanche. This game had a little bit of everything. Controversy. It had that. Fugazi reffing. It had that. Oilers were outshot 46-30. We lost the game in overtime. I shouldn't say we. Oilers lost the game in overtime. I did predict the Edmonton Oilers would lose that game. So far I'm good. I'm 2 for 3. 2 for 3. 2-1 on the season for guessing. Sucks that I guessed the loss, but you can't always predict the right things. You can't always say wins. Oilers started out hot, scoring. Hyman. Hyman again. And then the third period, Fugazis happened. McKinnon scored, Hunt scored, Makar scored. Oilers went 2 for 5 on the power play. Colorado went 0 for 4 on the power play. Yes, Fugazi reffing for both sides. But I digress. We get them again in February 19th. We owed him one. It was a loss in overtime, so we got a point. Points are points, right? Especially when we're in a tight race. And now we move on to LA. What I think is the worst game this team has played by far this year, and probably the worst game this team has played in the last several years. They looked like they didn't want to play. They looked like a team that was pee-wee hockey at best. And it was worrisome because obviously they're in LA, rival, team ahead of us in the standings, team that we need to beat, if anything, beat now so we know we can beat them in the playoffs. And this team just wasn't prepared. The team was bad. Flat out, they sucked. They took a huge turd in LA, and we were thinking, oh no, is this it? Is this the team that we're going to have moving forward? Still don't have Kane. He's rumored to come back soon. Doesn't matter. He's not in the lineup, right? But they played the game that they played. Fiala scores twice, 2 power play goals. I mean, you want to talk about Fugazi reffing. LA always seems to get Fugazi reffing. But as an old friend of mine used to say, you're never going to beat the Zebras. So you might as well just play through it, not bitch and moan about it, adjust to what they're calling. Unfortunately, the Oilers did not adjust. They shit the bed, for lack of a better term. Yamamoto scores to make it 2-1, and then Kempe scores to make it 4-1. McLeod makes it 4-2. Iafala scores, and then David scores, then Arvidsson scores on an empty netter. All in all, 4 for 7 were the LA Kings on the power play. That's right, folks. They won the game 6-3. They had 4 power play goals. That was atrocious. This game was the worst game they played on the month. Like I said before, I take 2 good games and I take 2 bad games, put them in the dryer, washer, and blend them and throw them up together. Because the top 2 and the bottom 2 just get washed out, right? Like you're gonna have a good. Every month you're gonna have good performances as a team, and every month you're gonna have a bad performance as a team. And thrown in there, you're gonna have mediocre wins, mediocre losses. You're not gonna be perfect every month, but that was definitely the worst of the worst. So we're thinking that's the way we're gonna start our road trip in LA. Fucking huge shitter. Campbell did not look good. This is worrisome. Because now we got Picard as the backup. When is Skinner coming back? When's Skinner coming back? Good Lord, when is Skinner coming back? So that's how we were feeling, right? As Oiler fans, we were feeling, oh Jesus, this guy's making 5.5 for how long? Can we get him out of here sooner? But not this guy. This guy still had the Campbell hope, the Campbell shine. Yeah, still shine on him. But we go to Anaheim. We get the 6-2 victory in Anaheim. Wow, what the hell happened to this team overnight? They went from getting their asses handed to them in LA to going to Anaheim and just mollywhopping to some bitches. But again, it's Anaheim, bottom of the barrel team. You expect to win this, and you expect to win big, apparently. So we go on. We win 6-2. We take 53 shots to Anaheim's 23. We're all laughing. We're partying. We're all happy. We're hyped. Let's go Oilers. Play La Bamba, baby. Boy, did it start something, though. That LA game started something in this team. Holloway gets the first goal. Hopkins gets the second goal. Keurig scores to make the game 2-1. Oh, that's still in the first period, mind you. McDavid scores, Costin scores, and that's first period over. Costin gets another one in the second period. Draisaitl helps out in the second period. Benoit scores in the third. Kind of a meaningless goal. Shots were 53-23. Like I said, Oilers 1 for 3 on the power play. Anaheim 0 for 3 on the power play. So this all correlates. You have a good PK, you win games. You have a bad to mediocre PK, you might win one or two along the way. You need to be a good PK team to win games in this league. That or be Vegas and don't take penalties. So we move on. We go on to San Jose. All right, we're flying high. We just beat Anaheim. We're going into another lame duck situation with the Sharks. Again, McDavid does his McDavid thing, gets 2 goals and assists on his birthday, I might add, to extend his point streak on the road to 12 games. The Oilers win 7-1 in San Jose. Oof. Now remember, you throw away one good game, one bad game, right? So that's the game I was throwing away. Because I did predict they'd beat LA. I was wrong on that. I predicted they'd beat Anaheim. I was right on that. Predicted they'd beat San Jose. Right on that. So you take one of the worst games they played, and you take the second worst game they played, which I will get to because it's coming up. Now, that's the second best game they played. I'm going to throw that away. I'm throwing that out too. Second best and best games you throw out because you, again, blend it. You get them average out the middle and you find out what this team really is. We move on. So before we move on, I'll let you know the goal scorers. McDavid, Costin, McDavid, Hopkins, Draisaitl. Pugliarvi and McLeod. And Lindholm scored late to break out the shutout for Campbell. It sucked. But again, Oilers outshot San Jose 41-26. They got worked in the faceoff circle, though. That San Jose team, if nothing else, they can take faceoffs. 65-34 in the faceoff dot for San Jose. Power plays were 2 for 4 for the Oilers, 0 for 4 for San Jose, correlating to what I said. Win the penalty kill game, win the game. Oilers did most of their damage in the second period. They became a better second period team. Their losses, I'm noticing, are second period downfalls. And this isn't just this year. This is correlating for years. The Oilers have bad second periods. They're not going to win the game for some reason. It's like they go up, score a couple goals in the first. It's like, yeah, we got this easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Let's just go home, pack our bags, and go out for the night. You still got 2 full periods to play, my guys. So that second period needs to be better moving forward. Just be better. Speaking of the Vegas Golden Knights, though, we play them the next night. So we're wondering, is Picard going to play? Is Campbell going to get the back-to-back? Because Skinner's still not going to be here. Skinner won't join until the Oilers are back home. And even then, I don't think he's going to get the start. Let the boy just relax on the bench. Well, let's just say the Oilers decided to wake the hell up and play against a good team and play well. They beat the Vegas Golden Knights 4-3. No overtime, no shootouts, no none of that. Just straight up beat them. Beat the pants off of those Knights. And I think that bodes well moving forward and moving forward for the playoffs because that was a tough team in a tough building on a back-to-back night with a back-to-back goalie that played the night before, who we were all questioning. Was he good enough to play for the Oilers, or is this the end of the line? He answers those questions this month. Did he ever answer those questions? I'll get into the stats later on in the video. Again, he did his thing. He made the saves. We start off by a Janmark goal. Janmark. And then a Draisaitl goal. And Kolasar scores again. That's all in the first period. Second period moves along. We have a Draisaitl goal. Okay. Cotter goal. All right, whatever. It's still 3-2. Kostin gets a goal. All right, 4-2 now. And Carlson gets a goal late in the second period. No goal scoring in the third. So the Oilers had a 1-goal lead going on in the third period. Held the lead. Didn't extend it, but held it. They had a defense that bent but did not break. We're moving on to that later on in the video. I will explain. This defense has turned a corner, not the 4 or 5 guys on the core defense, but the 5-man defense as a group. They've gotten better. This month was a better month for them. And that's all you can ask for is get better with the trade deadline coming up. The questions that we are all asking, do we go out and we get a defenseman, or do we get a third line center that can win a shite ton of faceoffs and play well defensively? That's on in a later video coming up. But again, this is great to see that this team has finally turned a corner. Defensive zone play was better. PK play was better. Power play was the power play. Again, shots were 37-30 for the Oilers. Outshoot, outwin. You take more shots, you're going to score at least, right? Face-off percentage was better this game, 53% versus Vegas's 46. Excuse me. Now this is where it gets fun. Oilers were 0 for 1 on the power play. Vegas was 0 for 2 on the power play. The only penalty that the Oilers took was tripping for Courier against Costin. It is what it is. Again, Vegas doesn't take very many penalties. Whether they do the infractions and the refs just don't see it, they take about 6 penalty minutes a game on average, least in the league. So again, we fly home. We had a pretty good road trip. We went 3 for 4. We got points. We had the shitter to start. We had the great game to end it, which was the biggest win of the month. But again, we grabbed that game, crumple it up, and throw it out. So we took out the 2 big wins, and we've taken out 1 bad loss. Now we're at home against Seattle. And honestly, we owe Seattle. They came into we got mollywopped first game against them. They came into our building and said, "Hey, how you doing? Let me just wipe my ass with your face a little bit," and they showed us why they may be a playoff team. I don't think they will be, but somebody has to come out of the Pacific Division other than the Oilers, right? So this is where Hyman goes off with his 3-point night. Oilers win 5-2. Kind of a little bit of payback for that 5-2 shellacking to start the month. Kind of rolling. Campbell's in net again. We are at home, but it didn't start out pretty. Sprung scores early on the power play. Again, Fugazi reffing. Sprung gets a power play goal. McDavid answers right away. We move on to the second period. Derek Ryan, Warren Fogle, and now we have a 3-1 lead going into the third period. 3-1 lead. Come on, we got to hold that, right? Well, Vince Dunn says, "Hold my beer," 22 seconds into the third period, and now it's a 3-2 lead. Now we're kind of like, oh, shit. This Oilers team knows how to collapse. This Oilers team knows how to lose games when they have leads. Zach Hyman says, no, calm down, guys. I got you. Scores a goal. Makes it 4-2. Ryan McLeod scores late in the third period to make it 5-2. That's your winner. Again, Oilers outshoot the Kraken 33-31. Face-off percentage, 50-50. Pretty even. I like that. Oilers went 0 for 3 on the power play. Kraken went 1 for 4 on the power play. Again, good penalty kill wins you games. Oilers took over first period. Again, second period meltdown. 14-9 were the shots for the Kraken. And then the shots on the third were 11-10. Again, that second period, that moving forward, let's all keep an eye on second periods because I think that's where Oilers are going to win or lose these type of games. We take a night off. Oh. My bad. I kind of buried the lead on that. Welcome back, Kane. Kane comes back for the Seattle Kraken game a little earlier than everybody was expecting. A little, I mean a lot. So we move on. Kane comes back. He looked okay. He didn't look himself. But hey, first game back in almost 2 months. Let's give the guy a break. He played November 8th. November 8th, and the next game was January 17th. Give the guy a break. He played well enough on his return to not cost the Oilers anything. So now the big game, though. Tampa's in town. Boy, going for their 5th straight win, these Oilers are. And do they ever? 5-3 victory. Play La Bamba, baby, one more time. McLeod gets the party started. And he just keeps on rolling. McLeod gets his 7th goal of the season. Draisaitl gets his 27th of the season. 2-0 going on into the second period. And second period meltdown happened. Hagel scores. Hyman scores to make it 3-1. Stamkos point score. We have ourselves a tie game 3-3 going on in third period. Second period collapse. It's a calamity. But McDavid says, don't worry about it, guys. I got you. I got you. McDavid scores his 39th of the year, followed by Hyman into the empty netter with his 23rd of the year. Shots were 34-31 for the Oilers. Face-off was 55-45 for Tampa. Again, face-offs are starting to matter now. Tampa went 0 for 2 on the penalty play. Oilers went 1 for 4. Again, win the power play special team battle, you're going to win the game. So, again, first period outshoot Tampa 13-9. Second period get it outshot 14-11. And third period outshoot Tampa again 10-8. Again, we are now going into Vancouver. Now let's turn back to our board here right quick. I was expecting the loss against the Kraken because for some reason I thought they were better than they were. I don't think they're a good team. I think they're a product of their schedule. Oilers may have proved that 5-2 victory. Tampa, I was expecting another loss against Tampa. I was wrong. They beat the Tampa Bay Lightning 5-3, and now we go on to the Canucks. We owe the Canucks one definitely after what they did to us last month. Unfortunately, another somber moment happened after this game. We beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-2. Boost Brojo got fired after the game. It wasn't a secret. Vancouver was firing him. It was just nail coffin. Here you go. How you doing? McDavid scores his 40th goal of the season. That's great. Obviously, Oilers do need wins against lower seeded teams to help themselves out. McDavid scores. Hyman scores. Second period, Draisaitl scores. Kuzmenko for the Vancouver Canucks scores to make it 3-1. Miller scores to make it 3-2, and yet again, here we go. Pucker up, boys, 3-2. Hawkins scores the empty netter to make it 4-2 victory. Play La Bamba, baby. Shots are 29 apiece. Okay. Not a big deal there. Oilers went 1 for 4 on the power play. Vancouver went 0 for 2 on the power play. Again, penalty kill came up huge. And then we move on to the second worst loss of the month. The overtime loss against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And if you go back, I made a video on this. They're the fucking Columbus Blue Jackets. You don't lose to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Well, this Oiler team found a way. Losing meant the 6-game winning streak was over. Could have been more. I think. Again, Oilers started out soft. They didn't look interested. They didn't look like they wanted to play. They just looked like they were there, collecting paychecks. Top to bottom, collecting paychecks. You can't win any NHL game by just collecting paychecks. You got to have more than that. So, Boone Jenner scores, makes it 1-0 for Columbus. Derek Ryan scores to make it 1-1. Hyman scores on the power play, 2-1 Oilers. And then Marchenko scores to make it 2-2. And in overtime, Johnson scores to win the game. Shots were 36-27 for the Oilers. Face-offs were in favor of the Oilers. Columbus went 0 for 2 on the power play. Oilers went 1 for 1. Very low event, low anything scoring. Then we move to the last game. The very last game of the month. Uh, Skinner was in net for that. That was the first game back for Skinner, I do believe. Yes, that was Skinner's first game back because, hey, why not? Nope. Skinner got the start against Vancouver. My bad. That was second game back. Skinner got the start against Vancouver. Welcome back, Skinner. And he got started against Columbus. Needed the two starts to get himself back into it. Congratulations on the All-Star Game nominee. Have fun this weekend at the All-Star Game. Ask questions. Be a sponge. Listen to what everybody says. I've been told it's a great time. Also, congratulations to McDavid and Draisaitl also being at the All-Star Game, but those two are expected to be there. Skinner, rookie goalie. It'll be interesting to see tonight and watch the All-Star Game tomorrow. Again, it's going to be good. It's going to be a fun time. Oilers score 7 against Chicago, beat the Blackhawks 7-3 to end the month. Shots are 43-29. Goal scoring is done by Barrie for the Oilers in the first period, 1-0 going into the second. And then Dickinson ties it up. Not to worry though, Draisaitl, Barrie, McDavid, Hyman all answer in the second period. We've got a commanding 5-1 lead. And then Jonathan Toews on the power play scores in the third. Kane gets his first goal back. Welcome back, Kaner. Hopefully this jump starts yourself, sir. McLeod also chips in, but Ty Ratty ends the game for Chicago's scoring with the third period goal to finish it off. 7-3 final. Shots are 43-29 for the Oilers, 2 for 3 for the Oilers on the power play, 1 for 3 for Chicago. Not really much else to talk about. Campbell looked good all month. Now we're going to go back to my 4-month stars. Boy, was I right about Hyman. 9 goals, 11 assists, 20 points. Now, I don't know much if I don't know anything. That's a pretty good month. 20 points is a pretty good month. Now, the other guy I highlighted, Derek Ryan, 2 goals, 1 assist, 3 points for a fourth line banger. Not bad. Could have been better, but he did the little things right. If you watch an Oilers game, you watch the things that Derek Ryan does, the chip off the boards, the get hit to make a play, the battles along the edges. The guy's a gamer. He's what you win with in the playoffs. His offensive stats are not going to be there, but defensive stats will be there. Nurse, 0 goals, 5 assists, 5 points. Now, as an offensive defenseman that does get some power play time, you're wondering where his points are. I think he's focusing more on the defensive side of the game, which he needs to because he's a giveaway machine on the best of times. But again, 5-man defense is helping out this team defensively. It's helping out the defensemen. So we are okay there. Tyson Barrie, 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. Not bad. 6 points for a month. Not bad. But again, he's working better defensively. He's doing the little things right. He's chipping off the boards. He's finding the outlet. Now we go to the usual suspects. McDavid, 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points. Second best player of the month. Draisaitl 8-9 for 17. Hopkins 4-11 for 15. Kane up there because he played very few games, but he did get a goal, and maybe that'll spark some oomph in his game. Now we go to Campbell. 7 wins in 8 games played. 204 shots against, 186 saves, 18 goals against. I mean, 18 goals. He's a little high, right? But we're expecting that. We expected him to let in 3 or more. I think our average with Campbell is if you let in 3, that's acceptable. But he made a lot of saves on a lot of shots, and I think this is Campbell's breakout party for the Oilers. Next month, we're going to see a bit more split duty time. Skinner's going to be back and healthy. Campbell's back to being Campbell and healthy. Oilers are again 3 points out of first in the division. February is going to be an interesting month, and that video will be coming up tomorrow, the February preview video. Now, I want to touch on some things that I was sent by BW. Connor McDavid didn't lead the month of January statistically. Hyman did, which is amazing. The team was a plus 16. Hyman is plus 16. The team overall, I think the overall plus minus is in the 20s now, if I am not mistaken, which is pretty damn good to me. Like, I'm not going to blow smoke and say that the Oilers are a fascinating team. The Oilers are going to be a juggernaut team. That's not the Oilers. But they are a plus 25 in the league right now. They're one plus minus away from the division lead. Seattle's one better with plus 26. They are better than Vegas at plus 12. Calgary's plus 5, and the rest are negatives. Now, it is what it is, what it is, what it is. Do they play in the hardest division? No. Do they play in the weakest division? No. But let's just get that out of the way, right? Like they don't play in the hardest, they don't play in the weakest. They do play though. That's preview. BW did predict they go 7-5. Oh, and on the other positive note, no more reverse retro jerseys. We're done with that crap. Those guys were bad luck. We won one game while wearing them. Get them the heck out of here. Uh, January 9th, the Oilers were, again, that LA game. Mark that on your calendar, folks. Mark this LA game on your calendar. I know this video is probably longer than I wanted it to be, but mark that game on your calendar because that could be the turning point of the Oilers season. Had they continued to lose, let's play the what if game. Let's play that game, right? I like playing what ifs. Let's say they lose against LA, then they go to Anaheim and lose, go to San Jose and lose, go to Vegas and lose. We're having different conversations with different folks. We're not talking about being buyers at the trade deadline. We're talking about being sellers. We're not talking about all-star fun festivities. We're talking about blow-ups. What needs to go? Who needs to go? We could be talking about firings. We could be talking about, instead of contract extensions for our top players, we could be talking about trading assets for our top players. Thankfully, we're not talking about that. We are talking about playoffs coming up because the Oilers are making playoffs. We are talking about no doom and gloom. We are talking about sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. Because the Oilers turned that shit around, and that ship got turned around quicker than I thought. And hey, they had a pretty good month. Let's hope February is just as good, if not better. And I think the February month will be better, and I will explain why in the next video, of course. All in all, everyone had a good month. They all bought in. I think something happened in team meeting. Oh, dude, I totally forgot. How can I forget? The Berlin situation. The E-Bug goalie, not an E-Bug goalie. I don't fucking care. He was an E-Bug goalie. Came in, made a save against Chicago. That is why the Oilers are the class of the NHL. This guy could have just sat on the bench and did nothing. But I don't know whose idea was brought up. I'm hearing rumors that it was McDavid that brought it up. I'm hearing rumors that it was Woodcroft that brought it up. It was one of the assistants that brought it up. I don't care. The fact that the idea was even brought up with 3 minutes left to have an E-Bug goalie come in and face NHL competition, it's genius. You were up 7-3 anyway. There was no way Chicago was coming back. And it wasn't a slap to Chicago, and it wasn't, as some people on there, well, that's insulting to Chicago. Why would you insult them? No, it was saying thank you to a guy that showed up at 4:30, got a text message saying, by the way, you're in tonight as the backup. Stuart Skinner's sick. I mean, that's a storybook itself, right? David Ayers was pretty good against Toronto, but he came in because injured goalies. Edmonton's just like, hey, he's our backup goalie. Let's just throw him in there. Makes a save. He's 1,000% in the NHL. If he never plays another NHL game, he's got this. He's got this great memory. He's a Southside athletic kid, just like Skinner, just like Benson, just like Hamlin. These kids in Edmonton are playing for their city. We need more of it. And we need them to be good in their city when they do come play for us. We've had players come play for the Oilers that weren't good when they played for the Oilers. Too much pressure. But it's good to see. I almost forgot about that. My notes. Thank you for looking at my notes, Matthew. Again, they bought in after the January 9th game. They bought into we need to play better. We need to bring the same intensity that McDavid brings. And the whole team did. Um, Again, the big boys did what big boys do. I mean, the top guys were all pluses this month. The defense was all pluses this month. We've got one really negative player on this team. And that's a situation we have to deal with. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Matt. For Oilers After Dark, we have a game February 7th in Detroit. That is our next live stream. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys. It's been a minute. Everybody, enjoy the All-Star festivities. Whether you like the All-Star game or don't, whether you like the skills competition or don't, whether you're glad McDavid isn't in the fastest skater or not, enjoy it. Have fun. Have a good weekend. We'll see you Tuesday. Have fun, my friends.